Hi, this is Sarah Lingra, and welcome to lesson 2 of how to use piano key finders at the piano. And this is actually, you're my student. I am so delighted to have you here. This is an actual lesson and how I would be running my lesson if you were here in the room. Since you're not here, what I'll be doing instead is I'll be playing exactly the same stuff that you are. Now, this is the second lesson in the series. The first lesson, there's a link in the description that takes you to the blog, and I'll link you to that first lesson. And I think I'm going to probably do these a couple times a week to build the first 6 or 7 lessons that I use the key finders with that set everything going. So I'm delighted you're here. We are learning for future you, and not just for tomorrow, but to have you playing in 20 years. Again, language is going to be confusing. And as I said, I'm going to be running this exactly the way I would be running it if you were here in the room with me. So I'm going to be starting out by playing a pattern on the black keys of the piano. And if you're sitting next to your piano, then I'm going to do this for about 5 minutes. I've got a little timer on the keyboard. And the rule is anything goes on black keys. So as long as you are playing on the black keys and playing along with me, it will sound good. Okay. So I'm going to do that to start out with, and then we're going to get into the lesson and I'll go over the materials that we were using, and then we will go from there. Okay. So here is 5 minutes of making stuff up, and no music on here. That means that nothing that you do is going to be wrong. So make up stuff on the black keys. so that section, when you play this back, you can play along with that, and any keys that you do on the black keys, any melodies that you make up on the black keys are there. All right, so the materials that I use in a general lesson are Piano Key Finder Keeper, because it has a really good rhythm reference on the inside. So any rhythms that we do, I can generally find them on here, which helps get that rhythmic understanding, though I think it's more important to be playing. I also, for those beginning lessons, use the Piano Key Finder name card here. And what this is it slips behind the keys and it gives you all the names of the keys. I'm not going to have it on the piano today. I did it for the whole first lesson. And if you have this at home, it's super helpful, but I'll be telling the keys that I'm playing anyway. And it's hard to see it from this perspective. The other two cards that I'm going to be using today are the 5-note scale card, and we're going to be doing major. So here's the major 5-note scale, and the 1-4-5 cadence card. And another way that I use, I call it is, this is the yellow, blue, red card, and on the back it's the minor version, purple, orange, green. And so sometimes I will call the chords the 1-4, other times I will call the chords the yellow, blue, and then the major 5-note scale. So last time, another reason why I use this is because it has a circle of fifths on the back, and I use this in every single lesson. So in the first lesson in the series, what I did is we started by going around the circle of fifths using the 1-4 chord combination in all 12 keys. Once you've done the 1-4 chord combination in all 12 keys with the left hand, then I had you do it again with the right hand, and I had it repeated. This time I'm going to do it around the chord, around the circle, but I'm not going to repeat it as often as I did. So I'm going to start it, and I'm going to hold it in place with my hand because I'm only doing this with one hand. So I'm going to line the yellow card up, the yellow arrow on the card up with C, and we're going to start at C, and we're going to go all the way around the circle of fifths, C, G, D, A, E, B, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, E flat, B flat, F, and then that takes us back to the top. I will give you time to reposition your hand. The fingerings for your left hand, you're going to be using the thumb, the middle finger, and the pinky on the yellow chord, and you're going to be using the thumb, the second finger, and the pinky for the blue chord. And it's going to look like this. And you can see that here's my second finger on the keys here. And so the only movement is my thumb going from the 1 chord to the 4 chord. Okay, so I'm starting in C major. So here we go, C major, and I'm always going to count 1, 2, ready, go, so you can start with me. 1, 2, ready, go, and then I'm going to hold the yellow chord for 2 beats, the blue chord for 2 beats, yellow chord for 2, blue chord for 2. So it's a 8-beat pattern. So 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe we will do that again, just kind of as a reference. C major to F major. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Since this is a teaching video, this is exactly how I'm teaching. So if I was sitting next to you, you'd be hearing me counting because we want to make sure that you internalize that pulse. So going from C, the next key that I'm going to play is G. So I'm moving the yellow arrow to G, and I'm going to do the same thing. So this is G major. Actually, I will use this. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. From G major, going around the circle, I'm going to go to D major. So the yellow arrow goes to the D, and here is the 1-4 chord combination in D. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Moving on to A major, sliding the yellow arrow over to A, going from the yellow chord to the blue chord. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, you'll notice that my arm moved in to go from my thumb on the E up to the F sharp. All right, next is going to E major. Here we go. So E major to A major. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to go to B major. I'm going to slide the card down to B. And we're going from B major, which has 2 black keys, but I'm still going to use the same fingering. So my pinky, middle finger, and thumb are here, and then I'm going to E major. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Moving it to F sharp. Now, one thing that happens over time, you might start picking up on the fact that I'm starting on with the yellow arrow on this key, but I'm moving it to the red, which is taking us around the circle of fifths. So now we're already in F sharp major. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you'll notice that the F sharp major chord is 3 black keys, and so my hand is quite close to the back of the keys, which this area of the piano, this is called the fall board. The red arrow is pointing to a C sharp, which is the next key over. Another name for C sharp is D flat. So over here, I'm going to be moving the yellow arrow to the D flat, and I'm going to be doing D flat or C sharp major going to F sharp major. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so again, going around the circle of fifths, we were just over here on the D flat / C sharp, and now we're going to be going to A flat here. Now, I'm zipping through these because they were already covered in the first lesson in this series. And hopefully by this time you will have this in your fingers. So here we go, A flat to D flat. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so the red arrow here is on an E flat, so I'm going to move a yellow arrow to an E flat key over here. As I said, if this is your second lesson, because this is the second lesson in the series and you've never played the piano before, get the key name card because it'll tell you what all of the keys are by sliding that key name thing at the back of the piano. So we're going now from E flat major to A flat major. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, moving on to B flat major. And we're only, there's only 2 more to go. So we've got B flat and F, and then we've made it all the way around the circle using these 1/4 chords. So here we go, B flat to E flat. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the last one, woohoo, is F. So here we go, F major. Yellow arrow on F, and we're going from the F chord to the B flat chord. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so that one was F to B flat. Not only is it F to B flat, but that's the 1 chord to the 4 chord if we're looking at the numbers of the scale degrees. And then if I moved it up to C, that's where we started, C to F. Okay, so we just went all the way around the circle of fifths, which is really cool. And as I said, this is exactly how we would be starting all of my new piano students. We go around the circle of fifths pretty much every single lesson. I keep the circle of fifths up there, and it is super duper empowering, and it's getting my students to be doing these amazing things. So the next thing that we're going to be doing is reviewing the 5-note scale. And again, the 5-note scale is the first 5 notes of any major scale. On the card, you can see this is scaled to the piano. So like the other card, it slides back and forth. And you can see that between the first and the second note, there's skipping a key. So that's a whole step. Between the second and third, we're skipping a key, so that's another whole step. But we're not skipping between 3 and 4, which means it's a half step and then it's a whole step. So this pattern is going to be played over all the keys as we go around the circle of fifths. I'm starting on C major, just like we did with the chord card with the left hand, because a lot of times when you're playing the piano, you're going to be playing chords with the left hand and melodies with the right. So why not do chords and melodies from your very first lesson? So I'm zipping through this one too, because we already did it in the first lesson. And this is just a warm up to kind of refresh you from what you were doing. And it's going to lead into the how do you sound good and putting these things together. So I don't think I'm just going to hold this in place with my left hand because it won't obscure the view. So I've got the yellow arrow lined up on C, and I'm just going to go up the scale and back down, because the melody that we're going to be playing is going to be using the first 4 notes of this 5-note scale, and we may as well get all 5. So here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Off. I'm counting because I would be counting if you were sitting next to me, and it helps internalize the pulse. So from C, I'm going around the circle. So the next key is G. So I've lined up the yellow arrow with the G key. 1, 2, ready, go. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Off. From G, I'm going to D. Now, it works the same way. It just so happens that the 5th note of the scale, going around the circle of fifths, I'm on D and I'm going to play up to A. So then the next one's going to be an A. You don't have to know that yet, though. The more you do this, you'll be like, oh, now I know what she's talking about. So here we go, D major. And you'll notice on D major, the 3rd note of the scale is actually on an F sharp key. So in order to play on black keys, I have to shove my hand this way into the fall board. It's much better to move your arm on this axis to play black keys than it is to move your arm up and down with your elbow. So here we go. Major 5-note scale in the key of D. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Off. All right, moving it up to A major. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Off. Okay, from A, looking at the circle here, I know it's an E. I could also say that it's this key 1 octave lower. So there we are. And the key of E major has 2 black keys. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Off. All right, so I'm going to take the yellow arrow and bring it up to where this 5 is. And now I'm going to be playing B major. B major, interestingly, has 3 black keys. And again, I don't want to move my elbow up. It's hard on my shoulder, but it's also inefficient. So in order to play that black key here, I'm going to move my hand in so that when I'm playing the B key with my thumb, I'm actually playing along the edge of the white key, black key border. When I do that, my hand is comfortable in here. So here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Off. The next key is F sharp major, which is this key right here. Obviously, it's a black key. You can see I'm on the black key here. So when I'm playing this, I'm going to have my whole hand in because my thumb has to be here. You'll notice that if you have your hand out like this, your thumb is actually a couple inches shorter than your next finger over. So if I want to be playing that, my hand is going to be at sort of in this position, or here if I show my left hand, kind of like this, but I want to have my hand in so that I'm playing the black key. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Off. Let me do that again since my finger slipped on a key. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Off. See, what's so great about this is using the card ensures that when you are working on this at home, you always know that you're going to be playing the correct thing. Moving this up to C sharp or D flat. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Off. Moving it down to A flat. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Off. The next one after A flat is E flat. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Off. From E flat, we're going to be moving to B flat. So I'm sliding the card up here. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Off. And the last one, woohoo! We're at F. So here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Off. Now, what is super cool about that is you just went all the way around the circle of fifths and you played the 5-note scale pattern in all 12 keys. A lot of beginning piano students stay in F, C, and G for the first couple of years, and playing things in all different keys is unusual, which is one of the reasons why this is so cool. Another thing that happens as you're going around the circle of fifths, the way that I've set up these exercises is that you're using the same fingers. And as you use the same fingers, you are training your muscle memory in order to be able to retain that. You might notice that all of these things sound very similar. It's just that the pitch is raised or lowered depending on the key that we're doing. So this is really great for ear training. It's one of those things that sneaks up on you and you're like, oh my gosh, that ended up being really cool. Now, that is basically the majority of what we did on the first day and the first lesson. But since this is your second lesson, we are moving on. And so this is the PDF that you can download on the Piano Key Finder blog. There's a link in the, link in the comment section or in the description. And in the first lesson, we went over the first part of this. And so today we're going to be doing the whole thing, and we're going to be going around the circle of fifths in the whole thing. Now, what we're doing is we're combining the left hand and the right hand to play together at the same time. And the way that I find this works is if you have a grand piano, these cards have a tendency to flop forward. If you're using an electric keyboard, then the cards are pretty stable. See, there they go. So I use sticky notes. The kind of sticky notes I like the best are the transparent ones, because then you can see whatever's going on the card. So if I tack down the 5-note scale card, then I can move this one underneath it, and it holds them both in place. Now, this one, the rhythm in here is a dotted quarter note played with an 8th note tied to a half note. And the reason I can get away with this is because we repeat it so much. So the rhythm on the inside of here, the reference is we're doing a number 7 tied to a number 1 on the rhythm thing. So I'm going to be counting it out loud, and we're going to be doing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And I'm going to play the first little section so you get that internal beat, and then I'm going to show you what the rest of that melody is on the one for sketch sheet, the music. So here we go. This is C major. 1 and 2 and ready and go, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 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 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and. Now, this is what my students do. This is what you do after your first lesson at the piano, and you can go home and you can play this, which is musical. I think that there's a difference between playing the piano and playing pieces on the piano. And I always start my students at this point with playing the piano first, because this will tie into pretty much every piece that they're going to be doing in the future. So here we go again. I've got the card set up with the major 5-note scale here, and the yellow arrows are both on a C. And the right-hand melody is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So we're using the first 4 notes of the 5-note scale. Let me do that again. I'm going to play it a little bit slower so that you can go along with me. 1 and 2 and ready and go, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 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 and. If I do it hands together, 1 and 2 and ready and go, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 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 and. Okay, we're going to do that a few more times, because if you can do it a few more times in the key of C, when we change to the key of G and the key of D and all the other keys, you're going to find it's a lot easier, because you already know the rhythm, you already know the fingering, and you already have an idea of what it sounds like in your ear. So here we go again. I'm going to play it through once. I'm going to pause. I'm going to play it through again. I'm going to pause, and I'm going to play it again with pauses in between. So if you get off, you can always restart. Another thing you can do too, since you're you can play this back, obviously, is you can do it with the right hand by itself, or you can do the left hand by itself, or you can do them hands together. It's fine. So I'm going to do this 3 separate times. 1 and 2 and ready and go, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 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 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. One thing you'll notice is that the left-hand chord pattern, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, is repeating itself for the whole passage. And it sounds interesting because the first chord that you're doing is C major, but the second chord isn't a plain old F major chord. It's an F major 6. And that 6 just gives it that little bit of, that sounds a little bit better than basic stuff at the piano. So here I go again. I'm not going to play the repeats. There are repeat signs in the music, but I'm just going to play the whole thing, all 6 bars straight through. 1 and 2 and ready and go, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 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 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we're going to do it one more time. 1 and 2 and ready and go, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. As I said, feel free to go back and watch the video again so that you can get that pattern. But we're going to move on so that you can hear everything in all 12 keys. So we're moving to G major. So I'm moving the yellow arrow to G, 5-note scale, and then over here, same pattern. I'm going to play it through 3 times. I'm not going to take the repeat, so it'll be 3 times with 6 bars so that we can get to all 12 keys in this lesson. 1 and 2 and ready and go, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so give you a little chance to get your bearings. We'll do that again. Again, fingering is the thumb, middle finger, and pinky going from to the thumb, second finger and pinky in the left hand. And then you're going to be using the first 1, 2, 3, 4 notes and fingers in your right hand. This is G major, and the chord change is going from G to C. 1 and 2 and ready and go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and give yourself a little pause. 1 and 2 and ready and go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 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 and 1 and 2 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and yay! So you've gotten 2 out of the 12 keys. So we're going to be moving on to D major. Now, the thing that's nice about the cards is that the cards are just showing you patterns. And so the rhythmic pattern is the same for all of these things. The fingering is the same, but now when we're in the key of D major, we've got black keys. So when you have black keys, remember to put your hands a little deeper in the keys. Same fingering, same everything. And I'm going to be repeating this 3 times with a pause. D major, 1 and 2 and ready and go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and off. 1 and 2 and ready and go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 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 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and one last time at D major. 1 and 2 and ready and go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and off. Okay? Now, you don't need to know all of the stuff that's on the page to be able to do this. That'll come. And remember, this is only your second lesson, so you're doing great because there's a lot of stuff here. Going from D major, our next key is A major. So we're sliding the yellow arrows to A. My chord changes in the left hand. So the 1 chord to the 4 chord, or in this case, A major to D major, and then A major 5-note scale. Now, one thing, going from A to D, you're going to have to shove your arm in because you need to get your thumb up to the black key. It's a lot better to shove your arm in, moving your arm this way than it is to be going like this. That bringing that shoulder up and the ear down is ergonomically terrible. So push your arm in and you'll find that movement from your shoulder is a lot better. 1 and 2 and ready and go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and again, A major to D, 1 and 2 and ready and go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 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 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and give you a second to catch your breath, and we're doing it one more time. 1 and 2 and ready and go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and off. All right, so that's the first 4 keys. You're a third of the way through the circle of fifths. So now we're going to go to E major. E major is another one. So I'm sliding this down so the yellow arrows are on E. And if you were here in the studio with me, I would be sitting on this side and you would be in the space where I am. And when we get about halfway around, then I would probably start chatting about, how your week is going and whatever. And I do that because there's a lot of information here, and sometimes my students need a break. But since you can pause the video or you can come back to it, I'm going to plow through it without giving you the "it's a beautiful day out" and the ducks are floating on the water in front of the house sort of spiel. E major to A major. Again, my thumb is on the outside of the piano. In order to get to the C sharp, I have to move my arm in. I do not want to move my hand up like this because you can see that that's really awkward on my arm. Here is a more smooth motion. So you push your arm in so that you get your thumb on the C sharp. E major has 2 black keys in the scale. Fingerings are the same. 1 and 2 and ready and go, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 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 and okay, there's time number 1, 2 more to go. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and little break. And then one more time in E major, going from the 1 to the 4 chord, or E major to A major. 1 and 2 and ready and go, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and off. Okay, so now we are getting into the enharmonics. Eeks. So enharmonics are just 2 names for the same key. And so this got some people confused. If you look at the circle of fifths over here, you can see that the B is a B. Actually, if I flip it up, we have B and C flat. These are 2 names for the same key. If we look at it here on the keyboard, here's B, there is B flat over here. So when you go from B to B flat, you are going down half a step. And so you can see that the C and the C flat are right there too. So you're going to have 2 versions of the same thing. Measure 31 on the sheet and measure 37 are exactly the same thing. But I wrote them because I had to. So B major to E major. You're going to be playing with your hand in the keys because you want to make it so that you can reach all the black keys that your left hand is playing, and you want to reach all the black keys that your right hand is playing. So I'm moving from B to E. 1 and 2 and ready and go, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, here we go again. B major, 1 and 2 and ready and go, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. One more time. 1 and 2 and ready and go, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 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 and off. Okay, so you have just made it halfway all around the circle of fifths. So, as I said, B major and C flat major are exactly the same chords. They are just spelled differently because of all sorts of reasons that we don't need to go into on your second lesson. So, and seriously, this is my literal second lesson with the majority of my students. So this is what you'd be playing. This is what you are playing after 2 lessons. So we're moving down to measure 43. So you'll see that there's a little 43 on the side here. Measure numbers are useful references so you know where to look in your music. And we are going to be playing this in F sharp major. Another name for F sharp is G flat. And it just so happens that the chord pattern that I played at the very beginning of the video for you to improvise against is in the key of G flat. So the sounds may be familiar to you already. Here we have F sharp to B. F sharp is a 3 black key chord, so I'm going to have my whole hand in close to the fall board because I need to be able to hear and fit all my fingers on those keys, and both hands need to be up in the keys because they are black keys. So here we go. 1 and 2 and ready and go, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so this is F sharp / G flat. 1 and 2 and ready and go, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 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 and one last time. F sharp or G flat, going from the 1 chord to the 4 chord, and the 4-note scale with your right hand. 1 and 2 and ready and go, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 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 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Ooh, interestingly, I just saw there is an error in my sheet on 49, so I'm going to have to come back to that and correct it. Moving on, now we are in C sharp D flat. Okay, so again, these are called enharmonic spellings. You can see here on the circle of fifths, if I flip it over, that D flat and C sharp are in the same little black wedge. These little black wedges represent black keys on the piano. And so those are two names for the same key. If you look at the key finder key name card, you can see that C sharp and D flat right here are both named on the same black key here too. So even though there are two lines for this, measure 55 and measure 61 are basically the same pattern. They just are written differently because they're in different keys. Moving this over to C sharp / D flat. It's another one where my pinkies and thumbs are on black keys. So in order to get all of the notes, I have to shove my hands in closer to the fall board because then I'm not doing the chicken wing thing as I'm playing. Which the chicken wing thing is this weird elbow shoulder thing that is detrimental to good technique. 1 and 2 and ready and go, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 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 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 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 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So I accidentally played it twice in a row. That's okay. We'll do it again. D flat to G flat, 1 to 4 chord, 1 and 2 and ready and go, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and one last time, D flat or C sharp to C sharp to F sharp or D flat to G flat. 1 and 2 and ready and go, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, Now we are on A flat. So we are in the home stretch. You've already done 2/3 of these. And so A flat to D flat. 1 and 2 and ready and go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay. Again, because this is a lesson, and this is an actual lesson, I'm counting out loud for pretty much everything here, so you always have it as a reference. As you get more experienced and your rhythm and your pulse internalizes, then the counting out loud or hearing somebody counting or using metronome becomes less important. And I will say that because I am counting for everybody and I'm doing this myself, my own internal pulse has gotten really, really strong. I could probably count for several hours, mostly out loud. Every once in a while, I need to take a sip of water or get a drink. But because I can do that, it has given me counting and rhythmic superpowers. So you do better by counting out loud, and it really is helpful. So here we are, A flat to D flat. 1 and 2 and ready and go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay. And one more time before we get to the home stretch with the last 3 keys around the circle of fifths. So A flat to D flat, 1 and 2 and ready and go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, so home stretch. We're going to be doing the key of E flat, the key of B flat, and the key of F. Same patterns. And you might have noticed that we went from very few black keys to lots of black keys, and then we're sort of tapering off and doing fewer black keys again. So E flat major to A flat major. My pinky and thumb are both on black keys. Let me just slide the card over here so that the yellow arrows are on E flat. So my thumb and pinky are both on black keys, which means my arm is in the piano. Same thing over here. My thumb is going to start on a black key as well. I find that getting you to play all 5 fingers on black keys and white keys is really helpful because you need both of them when you're playing. 1 and 2 and ready and go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 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 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, give you a pause. 1 and 2 and ready and go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right. One last time from E flat to A flat. 1 and 2 and ready and go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and off. Now, you may also have noticed that I'm not going slowly. And the reason for it is because these little sketches have a tendency to normalize and settle at a certain speed. And this is the speed that everybody seems to get comfortable with once they've done it a few times. And it's a musical speed, namely it's one that's satisfying to play. It's not too fast and it's not too slow. And it doesn't take too long to get up to speed with that. 2 more keys, B flat to E flat and then F to B flat. So now, because B flat to E flat, my pinky's on a black key, but my thumb is moving from an F to a G, so it's over here. I don't have to have my hand so much in the piano. In fact, if I did that, it would be harder because I would have to leap over this black key with my thumb. So as we go through the circle of fifths, you're going to start realizing that for some keys, you're going to be playing deeper in the piano, and other keys are going to be coming out. It's just one of those things to notice. Key of B flat major has 2 flats, and it just so happens they're in the first 5 notes of the scale. Here we go. 1 and 2 and ready and go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. One more time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 and 4 and. One last time for B flat to E flat, the 1-4 chords in the key of B flat. 1 and 2 and ready and go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 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 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, and the last one is F major to B flat. And the trick here is you see my second finger, my pointer is on the black key here, even if I'm not playing it yet. So I'm only moving my thumb between the C and the D, and my second finger is already here. So the movement of my left hand is actually pretty small. And then 5-note F scale. I guess I need to move the cards. To F, I guess I already did move the cards. Duh. That happens in lessons too, right? Here we go. 1 and 2 and ready and go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and off. One more time, F to B flat. 1 and 2 and ready and go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and off. And one last time. 1 and 2 and ready and go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and off. Okay, so you just made it all around the circle of fifths 3 times. We did it with the chords by themselves. Then we did the 5-note scales, and then we did hands together playing with the chords and the 5-note scales, and or 4 notes of the 5-note scale. And what's really cool about this is that it's controlled. And when you are playing with both hands at the same time, you know, you've got your right hemisphere and your left hemisphere, and they are connected by the corpus callosum. And when you are having to play together with both hands at the same time, you are actually making those connections between both hemispheres of your brain more robust. And the more you do this, the easier it becomes. Plus, these chords are all over the place in music, and that rhythm is like pop music heaven. Once you get this rhythm internalized, you are going to be able to play all of these pieces. It's also used commonly in jazz, and you're going to find it in classical and Baroque and whatever. So these things that you're doing, not only are you training your ear, you're training your hands, you're training all of these things to work together at once. Now, next lesson, I'm going to try to do several of these a week just so I can get this whole series going, because this is literally what we do in those first few lessons that you have with me, regardless of your skill level. So the next lesson, we're going to be flipping the cards over, and instead of playing everything in major, we're going to be doing the same thing in minor, because then you have all of these chords in major and minor in these same fingerings. And so if you add major and minor together, here's a little foreshadowing of what's coming up. That is taking this chord pattern that we just did and reversing it. And that's in the major. Now, if I do it, that's in the minor, which we're going to be doing in the next one. And then, so once we've gone through the majors and the minors in these two chord patterns, you're going to have that's in C major, but we can flip it to D. And so the leap from what we did today to that is not that far. Another one that's using these same two chord patterns would be or now that was taken from a Handel suite in G minor that is now making its rounds. If you check out Pascaglia, the Halverson version, it's using that chord pattern. And it's a very simplified version of the original suite in G minor that Handel did. But it's also, here's A minor, G minor, G major, C major, F major, B diminished, E, A, which is also so as you get these chord patterns in both your left hand and your right hand, you will be able to play lots of pieces because your hands will naturally gravitate toward these. So as you go around the circle of fifths, pay attention to the keys that you like to hear the most. Find the ones that you like playing. Notice the difference between when you're playing on keys that have black keys in them versus the white keys. See how it fits and experiment. You know, a lot of this stuff, these I consider them sketches or scaffolds where you start here and then you start making stuff up. Same thing with that at the beginning of each lesson, the improvising stuff. Go ahead and improvise. Nobody is going to be sitting around you telling you that you're doing the wrong thing. And if it sounds good to you, it's good. So this is Sarah Lingra, and all of the materials can be found at pianokeyfinders.com. Watch the video. This would have been you in my studio for your second lesson. So it's so exciting to see how cool it is that my students are able to do this in such a short period of time. So thank you very much. This is Sarah Lingra with pianokeyfinders.com, and happy playing. Bye.